welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is The Crystal Fix, Healing Crystals for the Modern Home by, and I think this is pronounced Juilette? Could be totally wrong. Thornbury? So, this one. So the premise of the book, like a lot of the titles suggest, it's gonna mostly be talking about crystals kind of related to your home. There's a few other just kind of vague suggestions, you know, like wear this crystal for abundance, wear this one for healing, whatever. But they all kind of related back to the home. Just kind of your usual run-of-the-mill crystal book. I gave this one a 2 out of 5. So this book is just kind of odd. Like, there's a lot of stuff that just was weird. The intro was like okay-ish, but like the organization of this book just felt really weird. Like, again, the premise was supposed to be for the home, but there's a lot of other random stuff. And then just the general organization of this book I didn't like. So first of all, the sections, the only way you can tell when we've moved a section is if you happen to glance over here. Otherwise, there is no chapter change. It's just on the side. It'll be health and wellness, rest and rejuvenation, protection and comfort. The only time it changes is on this side here. The next thing is that the crystals are not organized at all. They just are extremely random. Sometimes it'll start to go alphabetical and then it'll just be like, or we could not. Kind of like as the author was researching, they just kept it in the order they researched or something, because there's no rhyme or reason, which I feel like coming from a publishing house, that could have been a step in the editing process. If the author didn't want to deal with that, the editing team could have done that. I don't know how many people they have involved with that, but like even like the formatting people, like somebody could have made that alphabetical. It was just really weird. There was no rhyme nor reason to the order of the crystals, which isn't like a big deal, but it is kind of annoying because that's just kind of a standard. And like all of the books really is to have your crystals, herbs, whatever listed alphabetically, and to just have it totally random. Just, I didn't like that. So the final point, I actually posted this on Instagram when I read it, so I was like, what? Okay, so we have a new chapter here and it's find your fix, and you're like, okay, maybe we'll get to the conclusion. And then you turn the page and then we're at the index. Typically, the index is not listed as a chapter. It is usually not that. Also, you get to there is no conclusion. We know that I hate that. Give me an ending. And then also, there is no bibliography. There is no recommended reading. Where did you get your information from? Don't know. Was it just Google? Probably. Well, and the other part that was really weird was that how much the author was pushing that, like, you need to do research. You need to make sure that the people that you're buying from are ethically sourcing their crystals, and really pushing all of this research side of things, and then can't list their own sources. So that's thing. So like there's a couple interesting points in here. Like I was glad that she did at least include, you know, the usual warnings, like, hey, these crystals, don't leave them in the sun. These ones, don't put them in water. And of course the classic, you just gotta research further. But at least this one did give you quite a few listed for like ones that you shouldn't do that kind of stuff with, and it gives you a little bit of info for the crystals as you're reading through it. But the other stuff just kind of bothered me more than the few bits of good in this book. So I would recommend this book if you are kind of interested in crystals, but I feel like you've got to have a little bit of background knowledge on them, or you're planning to continue to research. And just make sure on things as you go, because again, we have no sources. Where did she get her information from? Don't know. By the way that this is written, I don't know. Is it just Google? Because you don't list anything. So that, again, it's just a personal preference of mine that just kind of bothers me when books don't include their sources. So see what you think. If you want to, if you can find this from the library, would probably be best. Some people in other reviews called this more of like the coffee table kind of a book, and it does have that vibe. It is a little rough to read cover to cover, not gonna lie, but these kinds of books just are. Like, I have yet to find a crystal book that is good to read cover to cover. Like, they're rough, kind of like the herb books. You're just like, oh my god, it's a lot to read cover to cover. Like, a lot of the source material books, like, most people aren't going to read every single page. You're just gonna grab it and flip to the section that you want, which is fine, but also some of us nerds out here read every single page and it is a little rough. So anyways, I would love to know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightbelowcrafts. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post every single day, and until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.